friends, and welcome to our last show of Local Beats this semester. I'm Tatiana.
And I'm Dane. Tonight's show is jam-packed, so let's jump right in.
Last week, Dane and I went to the plaza to ask what songs keep you motivated. I'm Tatiana, Parafiniuk-Talesnick.
And I'm Dane, Aragon.
We're here on the plaza today to ask you,
what keeps you chugging?
Well, lately I've been listening to Belinda Carlisle's Heaven is a Place on Earth. Don't ask me why, it's just I love the energy of the song.
Dixieland Delight. Country Roads.
West Virginia, Mama.
Blood Visions by Jay Retard. It's good songs.
You know, I bump Wu-Tang all day and Luis Miguel.
World turns, I spread like germ. Flood the globe with the pestilence. The hard-headed never learn.
I want to say Bad Bunny.
Ask the camera keeper what keeps you rolling?
Yeah, what keeps you going?
Yeah. Come on, in the camera. We all look stunned.
Luna by Invent Animate.
Luna, alright, I'll check it out.
Divine Hammer by the Breeders.
Okay, cool.
You're hired.
I'm just looking.
Anything by Cyber, S-Y-B-Y-R. Any of his new stuff, any of his old stuff's great.
Billie Eilish, I think that's what her name is. Like, she's pretty cool.
Along with me, but she won't sing this song if she reads all the
Lecrae.
Because I don't know where else to go, and I don't know what else to do.
just fight a little longer.
Drake is a good one.
I know when the line bleed. It can only mean one thing.
Probably J. Cole. Yeah.
Throwing big bro all at once. Just left the lab with young 21 Savage. I'm about to go on me jigger for lunch.
Sunsquabi. Things like Goldfish is great. Just keeps you going straight through. So. High energy, like a lot of beats, a lot of big hits. Like it's the kind of stuff that keeps me going through this late in the semester.
We love hitting the plaza and talking to people about what they like. I've never not been surprised either.
Yeah, a couple artists that come to mind, Boogie and Sunsquabi.
Yeah, it's always fun. It always reminds me not to be too judgmental because people will always surprise you with what their favorites are. They'll take we had 80s music, Luis Miguel, we had pop music, Christian rap. You never know what people are into. It's good just to ask.
Absolutely. If you missed Cactus Cat playing Colorado Room last month, we are able to bring you a glimpse of the performance to you.
How about another applause for Mackenzie for killing it?
And there's just something about live music. All the dancing, all the performing. That was a great show.
Yeah, they're super fun. I didn't see that show, but I've seen them a couple of times, and it's a lot of like get up and dance and move all around.
Boogie.
Yeah. So we're going to take a short break, but stay tuned for an exclusive interview with a few of the band members.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. Already posted it.
I'm Tatiana.
I'm Dane.
And this is Local Beats. And we're here with Cactus Cat, 3 members. Can you all introduce yourself and the instruments you play?
Yeah, I'm Aaron. I play saxophone and ukulele and sing.
Kevin. I play bass, and that about does it.
I'm Mackenzie. I sing and play ukulele on one song, and sometimes hit a drum and shake a tambourine.
And who is this?
This is Cheese. He's my cat, and he's the best.
Inspiration.
Is he the Cactus Cat?
He's not the Cactus Cat. He is a Cactus Cat, I'd say.
A manifestation of the Cactus Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of mythology around the Cactus Cat. What inspired your band name?
I was up one night looking at the Wikipedia cryptozoology page and was looking through.
Of course.
Yeah, as you do. Was looking through North American mythological creatures and just kind of saying them each out loud. And I saw a Cactus Cat, and I said Cactus Cat, and it just sounded great. And I love cats. I like cactuses. Yeah. And so the name just sort of fit the concept. And I think we as a group have kind of really grown to fill out the idea of the Cactus Cat. I met our original guitarist, Rich, who's no longer playing with the band. When, again, I knew I wanted to create a group, was kind of on the lookout, and really dug his sound. We ended up kind of meeting up and jamming a few times, and I let him know, if you find a bass and a drummer, we can do a lot of things. And he was at a party and was biking to go get some more beer, and biked by this open garage where Kevin was jamming with our drummer. So bassist and drummer just sitting in an open garage facing Mulberry.
It's like the best garage sale ever.
Right. And Rich came in and he just started playing with us, and it was like, wow, this is what I've been missing in my life. We should play more music together. Mackenzie is a fantastic vocalist, but up until recently hasn't really had a platform to sing from. And I was in a band prior to Cactus Cat where we sang Valerie, and she sang Valerie and crushed it. And
she crushes it.
Eventually, we expanded and got Madison as our other vocalist, and have been focusing a lot more on sort of the vocal aspect as well.
Yeah, Madison just came to jam one night with us, just like as a potential, like, oh, maybe we could bring on another vocalist. This could be fun. And then I was like, whoa, bro, we got pipes.
Yeah.
She does have pipes.
And she can jam with vocals,
Yeah.
which is a unique talent.
Yeah.
Where would you consider yourself in the realm of genre?
Yeah, so we call it adventure rock. Yeah.
I think that's a lot easier than trying to fit pre-existing genres, because, we're neo soul, hip hop, funk, surf rock, jazz, jam. Or we're just adventure rock, you know.
Yeah.
Do you think that surf rock has any business in a landlocked state?
Ooh, them's fighting words.
I'm just saying.
Surf rock, the whole point of it is to capture something grand and churning and moving, and that's you know the element of surfing and you know huge crashing waves, which I don't surf, but that's the whole concept of it is just trying to capture this thing that is larger than the human experience, and I think Colorado has a ton of that. So,
adventure.
Yeah.
Shredding hills.
Yeah.
Bored.
Yeah.
Mountains are basically tectonic plates crashing against each other, which is basically surf.
Yeah.
If you think about
It's
it.
like it's like the Earth's surf. Yeah.
Earth surf.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we appreciate
Thank
it.
Thank you guys.
What's up, Henry?
Hey, Julia. What's up?
What are you drinking your coffee out of this morning?
I don't even know.
Yeah, no, you should fix that.
It's uninspired.
You gotta get in this 905 club, let me tell you.
So if I donate $90.50, I can be part of this club?
It's got mugs, it's got shirts, and it's all dedicated to KCSU.
Well, I guess I'm going to donate to Club 905 because I support local college radio. What about you?
I have a confession, a weakness, if you will. I'm allergic to cats, which makes me feel so embarrassed. It's such a shortcoming, honestly. But it was worth it for that cat interview.
Oh, absolutely. You pushed through, got some cats and the cactus.
It's all worth it. It's all worth it.
Have you ever wondered why music gives you goosebumps? Well, our producer is coming out from behind the camera to tell us why.
Hi, my name's Dawson. I'm the producer of Local Beats, and I'm normally behind the camera, but today I'm going to tell you about how music affects the brain. So what if I told you that the emotions you feel while watching a film aren't always your own? A large part of the feelings is due to the score of the film, which subconsciously dictates how you should feel. This is known as the Kuleshov effect. Lev Kuleshov was a Soviet filmmaker who presented a visual sequence that made our brains connect imaginary dots. For example, he showed a man with a neutral expression, then immediately followed it with a picture of food, which tells us that he's hungry. An example of this can be seen in Alfred Hitchcock's film Psycho, where Marion Crane is famously stabbed in the shower. If you noticed, only 3 frames in the entire scene show that the knife was touching her skin, which is enough for our brains to connect the dots that she's being stabbed. The interesting thing about all this, though, is that it applies to music. In Alan Harvey's TED Talk, he uses a wonderful example using sharks.
Watch it again, but with this accompaniment.
Did you feel that? At first we were peacefully swimming with the sharks, but then, as the music changes, we suddenly fear being attacked by the same exact creatures. The power of music and film greatly dictates how we process scenes from the producer's intentions. For heroic characters, we often hear an E-flat major, often accompanied by brass fanfare, while villainous characters are given diminished minor chords that are often seen as eerie or unnerving. And to tie this back to Kuleshov, the heroic effect is brought out by the brass fanfare, making us feel triumph or like courage, while the villainous E minor chords give us an eeriness or distrust to the character. Music doesn't have emotions. Our brains give music emotion by association. But what exactly causes this? Research has been done to try and comprehend what parts of our brain fire and makes us think that music is good or bad. Studies have shown that when we listen to pleasant music, the neurological response is the same towards chocolate or sex. if you like chocolate. The limbic system is in control of our basic emotions such as pleasure, anger, or fear, which can tell the body to release certain hormones, making us have emotions. For good music, dopamine is released in the brain, which makes us happy and also explains why we get chills or goosebumps. On the other hand, we also listen to music that isn't, or when we listen to music that isn't necessarily good, or incorrect notes are being played, the inferior frontal gyrus, or IFG, is to blame. The IFG plays a role in language composition and grammar, so that when we hear words that don't necessarily go well together, it lets us know. It also applies to music, so that when an instrument is out of tune, or someone plays an incorrect note, it makes us feel off or disgusted. This also explains why pop music is so, well, popular. There's a trend of almost every pop song using the same 4 chords: C, G, A minor, and F. These chords resonate well with our brains via the superior frontal gyrus, or SFG, which works well with memory processing. So because our brains store these memories of nice-sounding songs, people create songs with the same characteristics, thus the simplified 4 chords. So the next time you're listening to a song that makes you feel a certain way, just remember that your brain is still hard at work.
I loved that video. I enjoy it a lot because there's something that makes me very uncomfortable about music giving me emotions that I don't already feel. Like, I feel like I'm being mind controlled.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Especially like when you're watching a movie, like the music can have such a like control of like what's on screen and how you feel, so.
Yeah, so there's a helpful explanation. If you tuned in to last month's episode, you saw Zavely playing in a tiny, tiny room, but tonight we're going to bring Taro in a place that's a little less cramped.
Tracks and all the switch. I was the one who laid your body down and threw the dirt in the ditch. Ooh, la, 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 oh. Ooh, la, 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 oh. Oh, you say me, blame me for all the poison in your soul. Yeah, you say me, blame me for all the things I didn't know. Oh, suffocate me as I suffocated you. Whisper on the reason that your breathing ceased as I take my blade to your throat. You were the one who held my bones as I fell away from the world. Fell with my sanity and with the space-time handcuffed and curled. Oh, you blame me for all the poison in your soul. Yeah, you'd say blame me for all the things I can't control. Oh, suffocate me as I suffocated you. Whisper on the reason that your breathing ceased as I take my blade to your throat. But I'm the liar, you know. I'm the liar, you already know. I'm the liar, you know. I'm the liar, you already. I'm the liar, you know. I'm the liar, you already know. I'm the liar, you know. I'm the liar, you already
That was so fun to shoot. Honestly, there's been so many times during like this semester where Dane and I have been at a shoot and just kind of looked at each other and been like, this is a good life we lead. This is a good life.
Yeah, it's like, wow, this is the coolest thing ever. And just like editing all the songs, like we have them stuck in our heads, and
we know all the words to every song.
We do.
Yeah, I think especially when you're shooting, you don't really realize how intimate it's about to be because you get up really close to the performer and now they're like belting right here and you're just like trying to catch it on the camera and like check the audio.
And just like working with like different musicians in different spaces.
Oh yeah, we've had so many different genres, so many different personality types.
But
it's
yeah,
been fun.
It's been great. We're gonna take another short break, but we'll be right back with a video essay with Dr. Alkins about Spotify.
I'm excited.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
In some ways, it makes it kind of like more fluid, more ethereal, like easier to take with you, more portable, right? And so, in some ways, has kind of moved it away from that, the more kind of like material. You know, you have the vinyl record, you have the CD, right? And it has a finite amount of music on it. We start to see these playlists curated for us by really sort of powerful and sophisticated algorithmic recommendation systems that kind of process the data that we provide these platforms, right? In many ways, Spotify is really invested in selling itself as a global company, right? It started in Sweden. It was for a long time primarily available only in Europe, or primarily in Europe, and you know, only kind of later was introduced to the U.S., to parts of Asia, most recently in the Middle East and North Africa. So it's kind of like steadily globalizing. part of the issue is not just the will of whether Spotify does or doesn't want to be in a particular part of the world. Part of it is sort of the cost of a platform making itself available in more places, having to deal with kind of local content regulations and regulations on media, but also having to negotiate distribution and licensing deals with the major record companies, right? So like, I think they're continually trying to make these sort of global or more sort of international deals to license and stream music. But one of the things that they're doing is trying to kind of really brand themselves as global. I think it's important to support the artist and not just the streaming platform, right? And I would be, I'd be a hypocrite if I just said that we shouldn't use streaming platforms, because I do. I have a Spotify subscription, and so I'm sort of complicit in some of that as well, right? But it's worth remembering that it's really hard for artists to make really any legitimate amount of money through many of these streaming platforms. Some of them are better than others in that regard, but it's important, I think, to do things that if you really want to support an artist, a musician, to not just stream their music on Spotify or Apple Music, right? But to buy their albums, buy the merch, see them live, that sort of thing.
So why did you reach out to this professor in particular?
I had Dr. Elkins last semester in my global cultures class, and we talked a lot about Spotify through like a global lens, and I really felt that he's qualified to talk about it, just in that all the conversations we had have been so profound, and thought it would be a great opportunity to let the rest of you know.
Yeah. Do you use Spotify?
I'm a Spotify user, yes. Actually just got back on this year because student discount.
Yeah, I'm a Spotify fan. Weird to end on that, because I feel like it's been such a fun semester. And unfortunately, this is all the time we have left of our show. It's the last Local Beats of the semester.
But don't worry, I'll be back next semester with the latest on the music. I'm Dane.
And I'm Tatiana, signing off.